Hi, everybody. You're stuck with me again. I was looking for a good YouTube video for adjacent angles, and I just didn't find one. And I just couldn't find a good angle addition postulate video. So I'm just going to make my own. You're stuck with me again. And we're now at dinner preparation time here at our house. So it might be a little noisy now and then, but that's okay. You guys have been coming to class from my home this COVID year all year, so you guys will be all right and comfortable with that. I Googled adjacent angles, and I like this definition. Thank you, mathisfun.com. That's two angles are adjacent when they have common sides and common vertex, the corner point, and they don't overlap. Let's quickly review what is an angle. If I have two rays, okay, and then I label the points. I'm going to call that, okay, my computer's a little slow today. I have to give it time. Call that A. Call this one, oh, doesn't want to do it. Call that one B. And we'll call this one C. Okay, my computer's a little slow. There we go. It caught up. All right, what are the sides of this angle? Well, one side is the ray AC. Okay, this side right here. And the other side is over here, which is ray AB. Okay. Now, what would we call this angle? Well, we would call it angle BAC. And A has a special point, it's the vertex. Now, adjacent angles are just that. Those are two angles that share a side. So I'm going to get another ray, and I'm just going to give it a different color just for fun. And I'm going to add another ray here in green. Okay? And let's give it a point so I could name it D. Okay? Now, can you see the two angles? Here's one, here's the other. Okay? Now, these angles share a side. I'm going to highlight that side they share. They share that side. Because they share that side, they are adjacent. So anytime you hear your teacher express adjacent angles, these are two angles sharing a side. Can you see that okay? Keep it simple. All right. Very good. Now let's talk about angle addition. That's going to be a little bit more tricky. This is from our textbook. Okay. And it's not a very good definition because it just uses an example. S is in the interior of angle PQR. Then M, the measure of angle PQR equals the measure of PQS and the measure of SQR. And today is pink day, so you're going to have to get used to that. I'm going to draw an angle. Okay? I have an angle here. Let me give it a name. Let's be imaginative and really creative and call it A, B. My computer just doesn't want to write. B, C. Okay? Easy enough? Okay. So I have angle A, B, C. Now, I'm going to put a point in the interior of the angle. Now, where do you think the interior is? That word almost makes sense all by itself. Interior. That would be inside the angle. If I used a highlighter and I highlighted the interior of the angle, it would be this, oh, orange isn't going to work for us. It'd be this part of the angle. That would be the interior of the angle. Okay, so I'm just going to put a point out there and mix it up and be creative and call this point D. You weren't expecting that, were you? All right, now I'm going to make a ray that goes from B through D, and D is in the interior of ABC. Okay? Don't complicate it. Let's keep it simple. If I measured one of those smaller angles, if I measured this angle and I measured the other smaller angle, I measured them, and you added them together, it would equal the larger angle. Okay? Now I drew that arc to show you so I saw my bigger angle. So let me undo that, and I'm going to use some color for clarification. Okay? Oh, I'm going too far. Okay? Let's put all that back together. I wanted to get rid of the highlight. I'm going to erase that. Okay? Let me erase that highlight. I don't want the highlight anymore. Let me put that ray back in. Thanks for your patience with me. Okay. Now, I'm going to say, if I measure and I measure together, I would get this one. Isn't that kind of like segment addition we learned this week? So I'm going to write that down. Okay? The measure of the large angle, A, B, C, equals, now I'm going to run out of space, the measure of the smaller angle, A, B, D. Plus, forgive me for not having enough room, what's the other small angle? D, B, C. Okay? Let me have another chance where I have more space on the board. And you guys help me out. Let me add a new page. Okay. I'm going to draw adjacent angles. Okay. I'm going to label the sides. And my computer doesn't want to draw those little dots. So forgive me. I'm going to put the dots on there for A, B, let's use the same letters, C, and D. Okay? The biggest angle, A, B, C, if I measured it, it would equal this little angle right here, A, B, D, plus the other little angle, okay? Now your teacher will draw arcs. This one plus this one equals this one. Okay? Just so you know what your teacher's doing when they do that. Here is an example of an angle addition problem. Find MIJ if the measure of HIJ is 112 degrees and the measure of HIM is 45 degrees. Now, I'm going to try to figure out where these numbers belong. What is angle HIJ? Could I highlight that? Let's see, I'm going to get a highlighter. HIJ is right here. Okay? Okay, so that's the large angle. I'm going to erase that now. And I'm going to put in an angle measurement like an engineer does. I'm going to put an arrow, go all the way around, and say 112 degrees. And that goes all the way over to here. Okay. Now, where is HIM? HIM is in here. So I'm going to use my engineering background and write that angle in. Okay. And okay, now this is the angle I don't know over here. I'm going to put a question mark right there. Now, just using the simple knowledge that these two angles add up to 112. Okay, now I could write the large sentence, measure of angle HIM plus the measure of angle MIJ and let me capitalize that, will equal the measure of angle HIJ. Okay, and let's use a highlighter to help us remember. HIM is right here. HIMIJ is here. And lastly, HIJ is over here. Okay. Now I'm going to substitute in the values they gave me. Okay. This one was 45 degrees. This one we don't know. And this one's 112 degrees. Okay. So if I subtract 45 from both sides of the equal sign, sorry for my sloppy writing. It'd be pretty easy. The measure of angle MIJ equals 67 degrees. Okay? That's an example of an angle addition problem. Thank you. Keep smiling.